Hello there, Leo, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today I am doing your February career and money reading. So we'll take a look at the overall energies with the oracle cards, and then we'll go to the tarot to see if there's any obstacles or areas of resistance that are preventing you from manifesting what it is that you want in your career and money sector. Okay, and if you're enjoying the content that I create or resonating with the message, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider like, commenting, or subscribing. Okay, and Maggie has joined us, so she's hiding. Maggie, you're hiding. So anyway, we'll see what we have going on here. Okay, your animal spirit guide. Let's see, we have Starfish Spirit, open to infinite possibility. You know, it could be, we're going to look at the tarot and stuff. You know, the first thing I get is this energy of just kind of feeling like you have to go in one direction. You know, it's that energy of like divine detours, looking at other possibilities. You may feel like you have to stay on your course, but there could be possibly an easier way to get around an obstacle or something that's preventing you from going in the direction that you want. An impasse, reflect and redirect your energy. Yeah. So, yeah, it's about, you know, there's some obstacle, and we'll look at that with the tarot. There's some obstacle. It could be just a perception of something, a belief about yourself or about money or your career or your work. There's something that is kind of in your path, and I feel like you're putting your energy on that obstacle instead of trying to see how you could go around the obstacle or how you could change the obstacle or get the obstacle to work for you. You know, it's that have you ever heard, like, if you're riding a bicycle, like you're not supposed to, you know, if there's something like a pothole or something in the road, or, you know, a big rock or something like that, like something, an obstacle that you don't want to hit while you're riding the bicycle. Okay. You're not supposed to look at the obstacle, because if you look at the obstacle, then what's going to happen is, you know, you're going to drive the bike right into the obstacle. It's about looking at the path that you'd like to take around the obstacle. You know, if you play sports at all, when you're like playing tennis or you're throwing, you know, a football or any type of ball, you're supposed to look at where you want the ball to go, you know. And it's kind of like, you know, I feel as if, you know, if you're trying to direct your energy. The message I'm getting, okay, is that you're trying to direct your energy at the obstacle. It's almost like you're so focused on the obstacle that you don't see the way around the obstacle, or how to, you know, get the obstacle to work for you. Really interesting energy. You know, it could be a little bit of, you know, just in some cases it can be about being stubborn about a belief system, or stubborn about something has to go a certain way, or you only want a certain outcome. And so the universe is bringing you in different blessings in different ways to help you get around this obstacle, but all you're doing is wanting a specific outcome. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to lay these out. We're going to look at, so we have indecision here. So what do you have going on, Leo? We have romance showing up. Sag had romance showing up in theirs too. I am going to try to keep this as much as possible on the career and money sector. But, you know, there has been this energy of our personal relationships, whether that's romance, family, or friend, that are coming in and affecting our career and money sector, because, you know, our work is so tied to who we are, you know, and what we love about ourselves and our lives. And our work can either help us to feel like we're more in love, or it can prevent that feeling. So we have something here. You're trying to work on something. We have door to romance. So I'm going to read this two ways. You could be more focused on love, and love is kind of like your obstacle in this situation. Or you're so focused, let's try to keep it career money here. You're so focused on the way that you want your career or your work to help you feel, okay? You're so connected to some certain outcome of how you are going to feel with your work. So you're hyper focused on that. And sometimes what can happen is that we get into that energy of you're not getting the emotional connection out of your work that you want. And so then you start losing your zest for it. Okay. I'll give you a personal situation. I used to be a teacher. I loved teaching. I loved helping kids to learn in different ways. That I just truly enjoyed that part of it. But the part that I didn't enjoy was the paperwork, the endless meetings, the waste of time that I felt like a lot of times there was in education. And so I feel as if you're wanting to have greater connections within your workspace, whether that is with your colleagues, your work colleagues, or perhaps even, with your clients or your customers or whoever you are trying to sell. It's this energy of, I want greater connections. You're trying to work on the connections that you have. And you're finding that, I feel like you're finding that, you're having to analyze. You're spending more time looking at the bottom dollar, or there's more emphasis on like productivity instead of perhaps customer support, customer connections. Once again, in education, there was a lot of over analyzing perhaps of test scores and stuff like that, instead of, really getting to know the kids and helping them more on an emotional level, giving them the tools to be lifelong learners instead of, well, how did they score on a certain test? And so I feel like you're wanting to take action on this. It's really interesting because I think you're kind of like waffling, trying to decide how do you analyze this and still kind of like still make this connection with your colleagues, your customers, your whoever it is that you're involved with in your work. And this is kind of like your impasse. Reflect and redirect your energy. If you have felt like a lot of your energy has been put into analyzing, over analyzing, the bottom dollar, productivity, perhaps even over analyzing, like, oh, I put in, 60 hours this week in this work, but I only earned this much money. Like say, it's, say you're in sales or something like that, and you've been working really hard. It's kind of like, I feel like there's almost like this energy of overthinking. You may be getting kind of caught up in the overthinking of it. Yeah, because there's, under here we have indecision and envy. You could be looking at some of your work colleagues, say, you're in sales and some of them are selling more than you are, but you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm spending all this time getting to know my customers and, calling them and just checking in with them and giving all this customer support and everything. But why am I still not making as much money, as my colleagues? Or perhaps you're not spending enough time, on your customer service. So there is something there about taking a look at you know, you're making decisions based on fear instead of based on love. So taking a look at how that is affecting either your job, your career, or a business that you're either trying to start or you have started. Taking a good look at how your connections with the people that you are dealing with in your work and career sector are affecting your productivity. So let's take a look at, this is your obstacle, 6th chakra, and the judgment card. Really kind of judging what it is, your creativity, your relationships, again with the 6th chakra, this energy of how can I come into, how can I use my vision for the future to decide what direction I'm going in. With the impasse, I think that, you are perhaps at this impasse, at a crossroads. Am I going to continue on this path, or am I going to redirect my energy? You're being called. Page of Wands, the World, Queen of Pentacles, 3 of Wands. You've been kind of waiting, putting your energy out there and kind of waiting. But this is your obstacle. Your obstacle is that you're not taking the path that puts you in a better connection. I feel like you're almost like hyper-focused on an obstacle, on something that you feel like you're not getting in your career and money sector. And I feel like it's more of an emotion that you're dealing with. You're not getting an emotional, inspirational type of energy. Nothing, it's almost this energy of how can I change, and yet I don't even have the motivation to change. It's like, I'm just going to keep on working here and trying to hope that I'll walk into the next world. I'll end this chapter and start a new chapter that is a little bit more, Queen of Pentacles, a little bit more fruitful. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's kind of like, we're starting this new month. It could have something, I'm like getting monthly quota, like you're at the end of January or something like that. You're looking at how much you manifested or created or whatever it is in January. You're looking at your January numbers and you're kind of at this impasse. It's kind of like, am I going to continue doing what I did in January, or is it time to tweak this? Really getting judgmental with yourself instead of judgmental with perhaps, the people around you or something like that. Like asking yourself, well, what other possibilities do I have? How else could I perhaps redirect my energy? Have I been spending my energy and my time and energy in the right areas as far as my career and money sector go? It's really interesting because I feel as if when you look at that, you're going to recognize that you are working really hard in one area, but you kind of like dismissed another area. Like it's almost as if you hyper focused on doing one thing, but what you're recognizing is that there are other ways, other possibilities on how you can make money. So especially if you have like your own business, let's say you had a brick and mortar business, okay, and say you're selling balloons, okay, balloon animals or balloons in general, okay, you have a balloon store. I don't know why they're giving me that. They're giving me that. Okay, you have a balloon store and you have a brick and mortar store, right? And it's kind of like, you can only sell to the people that are in your community, right? And you may be even working on really good customer service with the people that come into your store. You may be even trying to advertise and reach out to your community, build good community spirit. Okay, you may be a merchant that helps the local school or sports organizations or something like that. Like you're spending a lot of time building community spirit, trying to build a good rapport with your community and with your customers. Okay. But, when you go to analyze things, it's kind of like, wow, I'm really not selling a lot of balloons. Like I need to sell a lot more balloons to keep this store. And it could be that it's time to kind of like look at this. You've been spending so much time and energy on your community. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but could you expand your community? How about if you sold balloons on the internet? Or maybe you started, a social media account, where you were getting your name out to a bigger audience. It's so interesting because I recently was able to visit a friend that lives in another city, and we did a little bit of shopping in this one little area. We went into this store, and they were selling that there was actually not that much merchandise in the store. It was a clothing store. There was actually not that much merchandise in the store. And when we walked in, the owner, it was a small store, so the owner was in there working, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." She was on her phone or something, on the computer or something, and she was like, "I'm just sending out a lot of orders. And she, talking to her, she said, I do a lot more business on the internet than I do in the storefront." And I thought that was so interesting, right? I mean, I really was like, wow, like she is finding other possibilities to get customers in her store, virtual customers in her store. And I feel like that's the avenue that you have to maybe take a look at. Is that, are you just, you're working really hard. I do feel, Leo, that you're putting a lot of time and energy and love into your work. Maybe building rapport with your customers, but it's kind of like, can you take that to the next level? Can you broaden your scope of customers or broaden your scope of the work that you're doing? Yeah, because I feel, we have 5 of Pentacles on the bottom. I feel like you are perhaps feeling a little bit financially strapped, or you're putting so much time and energy into what you're doing and you're not getting financially rewarded. So let's see what we have here as your advice. We have 3 of Swords and journey. The journey part is, being in alignment with your soul's purpose, having your work, your career in alignment with your soul's purpose. And then the 3 of Swords is, disappointment. So it's kind of almost like, are you, this is your advice. So are you feeling disappointed in your work because you're not on your soul's path? Is your work not in alignment with who you are becoming? Is that what you have to change? Or is it that you're starting to question your soul's purpose? So let's clarify this and get a sense of where you're going. Judgment card again, Star, Page of Swords, 8 of Pentacles. Let's see what's underneath that. Look at this. You're getting the clarity. I feel as if some of you are taking a look. I feel like you may have started your own business, or you've taken this career path that's more in alignment with your soul's purpose. Something that you thought was going to bring you a lot of joy. That was going to be emotionally fulfilling, like every single day. And, this is, the reality is that the analysis is being done and you're kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm on the wrong path. The judgment card is being called. You are being called, but you're resisting it. I feel as if some of you may be making a change and going in a direction that is more in alignment with what it is that will be emotionally fulfilling for you, or you're recognizing that maybe you're putting your energy, your time and energy in something that is in alignment with your soul's purpose, but it's not bringing the fulfillment that you were hoping for, right? But it's kind of like, okay, just take a look. You have the judgment card too, twice. This is, the crossroads card. This is like you choosing the path that you are going to go on. And with Aquarius here, the star energy, it's about hopes and dreams being fulfilled. Making sure that you are on the path that is going to bring you your hopes and wishes granted. And having the clarity about that. I feel like this clarity is going to come in because we have the Four of Swords on the bottom. We have the Lovers here. For some of you, if you have had some romantic ending, an ending to a romantic relationship, I feel like that could be, affecting your career and money sector right now, mostly your career, your work. It's kind of like, yeah, I feel like I'm on my soul's path. And it could be that you're going in this direction after a breakup. Like you've had the ending of a romantic relationship. And so now you're going in a different direction. I feel like there's a change that you're wanting to make to your career and money sector. And it really is about taking a broader picture, looking at the different possibilities and trying to figure out how you can tweak it. When I was teaching and, I really got tired of all the paperwork and, just that emphasis not being so much on the child as much as test scores or, that type of thing. Paperwork, it was at times I would have to just step back from that and realize why I was there. Like going back to your why. Like sometimes I would, get so hyper focused on what it was that was being analyzed, and over analyzing even my results. My class's results or something like that. It's about, if you look at it, here is the door to romance is a bigger card. It's about making sure that these are equaling out, but that you have more energy, time and energy put into the why you are doing something, into the heart of why you are doing something, and less into the over analyzing of the productivity or the bottom dollar or whatever that is. Really interesting. I feel like Sag had somewhat of a similar reading about reconnecting with why you chose this path. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. Yeah, and I feel like you could be over analyzing the outcome. I feel as if, you're over analyzing how much money you made or how many clients you gained or, whatever that is, whatever that means to you, what you could be analyzing in your career. It's like, are you over analyzing it? Is this how you are trying to determine how you feel about your career and money? Is it based on like the analysis of it? Like how much money you put into it, how much time and energy versus how much money you got? Are you just like over analyzing it? Are you willing to let go of this a little bit, a specific outcome? I feel like you have these quotas. I keep coming back to quotas. Like you have these quotas and it's kind of like, well, I didn't hit that quota. And then you're not feeling fulfilled in the job. But is that why you got into it? Did you get into it because of the quotas, of meeting your quotas? Or did you get into it because there was, a reason for you to get up and go to work every day? For me, those days when I felt like it was all about quotas, test scores or paperwork or whatever, I had to take a moment and reflect back. Why am I here? I'm not here about test scores. Those test scores don't indicate anything really about how great of a teacher I am. They're a part of it. I'm not going to say test scores are totally unnecessary, okay? But it's not the true indication. It is a snapshot. Testing is a snapshot of how a child is working or is learning on that specific day. Well, they could have had, a very emotional night at home the night before. They could have woken up late and had no breakfast. Like that test score does not indicate what that child is going through in their real life or how they are progressing as a human being, as a part of society. They may be dealing with a lot of emotions. And I feel like that is where you may want to take a look at. You've been called to go on this path for some reason. You've been called to go into this career, or you are being called to change your career. And it's based on something about, hey, I have a need. I have a calling within me to help others, to bring happiness and joy and love to others. And that's what I'm going to focus on. It doesn't mean that you don't have to do some analysis. That's just reality, right? But it is about making sure that every day when you wake up, this is your why of what you're going to work for instead of this. And just really staying here. And when you do that, when you stay in this why, when you stay on your path, on what it is, instead of worrying about the outcome, when you are willing to release the outcome and let the universe do their work, then the universe can truly get to work to helping you to manifest what it is that you want. Yeah, I feel like with this impasse, you're really just hyper-focusing on some obstacle that you have in your way. You didn't meet the quota last month, or you didn't meet your quota the last 6 months. And you're just like hyper-focusing on that. If you're hyper-focusing on something that hasn't happened, you didn't make your quota, and you're fearful about it, and you're just, focusing on that, then the problem is that you're manifesting not getting your quota, not having better sales or, reaching your goals in your career and money sector, whatever that is. Really, it's almost kind of like, this is a 33 card. Threes are about working with spirit, working with others. I feel like that is the answer to whatever may be going on in your career or money sector, is reconnecting to yourself, reconnecting to your heart's desire, reconnecting to your soul's purpose, reconnecting with spirit, really getting intuitive, listening to your intuition, instead of being fearful and looking at the bottom line, and just saying, oh my gosh, what is going on here, and spending a lot of time and energy over analyzing the numbers of your job instead of the heart. Okay, Leo, I am going to leave it there. I do wish you much love and light in this situation and in all your situations. And if you resonate with the message, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider commenting, or subscribing. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.